Hi guys, welcome to another Chai with Foodiesnapper here at Paradise Cafe. Guess what we're gonna talk about today? A lot of blogging, a lot of food and chai, and today I have a very special guest. They're gonna talk about their mixed cultural experience from Mexican to Indian, along with a little warm cup of chai. So what are we serving our guests today? We have the special Paradise chicken lollipops. This is one of my favorite chai items, not to mention the masala fries, the butter chicken sliders, the club sandwich, the loaded fries. It's a mixture of food. Of course, we have the samosa over here. Everything is great, and I'm super excited to talk to Raquel about her experiences.
Hi, I'm Raquel. I'm here to have high tea with Foodiesnapper here at Paradise Cafe, and I'm really excited to try all these nice little treats and of course talk a little bit about my background. My background, I'm half Mexican, half Indian, and I grew up in two different cultures, so that's really where I get my love for different flavors and different food, and of course spice. So I'm trying out the Paradise loaded fries with cauliflower, and we're gonna see how it tastes. Get a couple of fries in there. Really good.
So let's start with chicken lollipops right over here.
Which one should I dip in?
Do you like tamarind or do you like mint?
Ooh.
Since you're mixed race, what's your favorite flavor?
I think I like mint.
You like mint? Oh, that's the Indian in you.
Right. I was going to say tamarind
Really?
covers both cultures.
Yeah, because Mexican are a very big part of
big
tamarind.
on tamarind.
Okay. Here, let me eat with this plate. Really good.
I hear the crunch.
Super crunchy, and the chicken's like well seasoned in here.
Well seasoned, crunchy chicken right over here. Growing up in a mixed family, and it's not just mixed, you're mixed with two minority groups. Mexican, Indian. What was that like experiencing?
It was an interesting experience. I thought a lot of people would grow up the same. I think that was just like a naive way of thinking when I was younger, but I loved growing up in that type of culture because I got to experience two very distinct cultures that I think they overlap in some ways. Like I think the food wise, like yes, there's different spices, but both cultures have very intense, like spicy food, but also at the same time, it's like, even though the food is spicy, it's also really good. But there's like two distinct different cultures.
Right.
You can blend them together, and kind of like Midnight Temple kind of did that at one point in downtown Detroit, which I thought was really cool. But yeah, no, growing up was super fun. I had cousins that lived all across the world, so that was interesting too, because I got to like experience traveling by going to stay with them, which is very nice of my cousins to be able to like house me, but that's the Indian culture. But one thing that is very prominent in both cultures is like their tie to family. So I have like a very important tie to like my family, the family union, and just making sure that I'm like always see my cousins or like interacting with them in some way. So that was always fun. And of course, food is always good. So
nice. The food is always good. So what's your comfort food?
I love me some tacos. I'm not gonna lie.
Tacos. Okay.
You can never go wrong with a taco. And my thing is like the basis of a taco is essentially like a sandwich. It's just like tortilla, some meat, whatever you want, but it has to be well seasoned meat. That's one thing about me. Well seasoned. Some cilantro, which is also very prominent in like Indian dishes too. And then of course like some lime on top and onions, and eat it. Do
you know this place has the Indian tacos and won the Eater Award?
Really? This place?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
The Indian tacos using a chapati.
Ooh, okay.
So we have to make you try the Indian tacos. I should have thought about that. So
Can I say something really quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so speaking of, I know you mentioned like cilantro is used a lot in the Indian culture as well. Yeah. But that would be culantro, right? Is that the same? Like they're similar. Culantro and cilantro. They're two different things.
Like two different types of cilantro brands.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly. I'm gonna have to ask my mom because she always makes the best Indian food. Like I'm still a beginner at that. Yeah. Definitely need to learn some more from my mom, but I think they do.
I know they have culantro. Which, yeah, and with me being a flight attendant for almost 10 years, I was able to experience a lot of different cultures, and I learned so much. Like, I never knew about culantro. I was like,
I never knew. This is my first time learning.
Yeah, I was like, do you mean cilantro? They're like, no, cool is actually C-U-lantro.
Culantro.
Interesting.
That's an interesting concept.
Yeah. We always use cilantro, but I also grow cilantro at my house, so that's probably why.
Well, I'm coming over to get some.
I forgot you should put for your height. You should have put the Indian tacos, and you try that.
No, either way, it's still good. I love these chicken bites.
Hey, help yourself. So this is casual.
Okay.
I wanna. And one thing I've always been interested about you is particularly how did you get into food blogging? From that, now you have your own small business, and you in the vlogging world, like how you a day in my life as a. I love that, absolutely. But how did you get into that?
Yeah, so it started off.
Please help yourself, for Sean. Please eat. Sorry.
Okay. I'll eat, but then there will be stuff in my teeth.
It's so. Okay. It's casual, high tea time, and gossip time.
Yeah, I mean, okay. So I started off in my. So I started off as like little influencer when I was younger. I always saw these like beauty gurus and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, yeah, I want to do a YouTube kind of thing. And I had started that when I was like in high school, and I just stopped in college because I realized that if I wanted to like get a job after college, like that, I think as an immigrant, your parents put a lot of focus on you going into corporate and making sure that you're making money and stuff like that. So that kind of took a back burner when I was like in college. And then what ended up happening was I went to college, I decided to go into marketing. I went from marketing into social media where I started working at bigger companies. And then kind of what happened with the food blogging was during COVID, my parents and I, because I worked during COVID, I kind of felt bad for a lot of restaurants who may have like not had a lot of clientele coming in. So I started just showcasing my experiences at different restaurants. Like, oh, X, Y, and Z restaurant has, you know, carry out orders where you can do a family meal deal or something like that. So that's actually kind of how I got it started. And then I would do that every Friday with my parents where we go to a new restaurant and try out different food, and I just showcase it on my TikTok. And then from there it kind of grew. But when it really grew was when I went to Blake's one time and I tried out like their hard cider there. And I showed them that you can go to Blake's outside of just like the fall time. A lot of people think that they go to Blake's for like
only
fall time, picking pumpkins, kind of stuff like that, when it's like way more than that. There's like summer events, there's even winter events. So that's kind of how it grew from there. And then I just slowly started trying out more and more restaurants and showcasing it, and now I'm here today.
Hey, having chai with Foodiesnapper. Do you want to try the butter chicken sliders?
Yes, I do. And do you like one too?
I have the. I'm actually working on the
chicken sandwich.
Yeah, the chicken sandwich.
Chicken sandwich. Okay.
You want to probably take the pepper out?
Okay.
I'll try it with you.
I'll try it.
Do you like spice?
Yeah, here and there. Yeah, I can take it.
Now, what peppers are those? Are those serrano peppers or?
Green chili peppers.
Green chili.
Oh, yeah, that's what we have then. Okay, let's try this. Okay.
How is it?
That's good. It's like sweeter than I thought it was going to be. That's good. So.
It has a lot of cilantro on it.
I can see that and onions. But yeah.
Now, do you guys believe in the, you know, some people say the soap gene where cilantro tastes like soap to some people?
Some people have said that to me, like cilantro tastes like soap.
Yeah.
I think it's just taste buds very developed.
Well, I love cilantro and onions. Oh gosh, especially with the tacos. So I've done a lot of missions work over the last 15 years, and Mexico is one of my favorites. And the street tacos,
they're good there.
Oh my gosh! And then when I moved to LA, any street tacos, yes, some of the absolute best street tacos ever.
I think tacos is just like that food that brings people together. It's like a sandwich and everything mixed together.
Yeah. And
one thing I realized, we're all like different race groups sitting here. Yeah, I'm Pakistani, Indian. We have like some sort of connection, but we're all like minorities here. And part of it is like you get more exposed to different cultures here in the U.S. and different things as everything is blended together, and you realize, especially as minorities, as kids growing up in like a minority household, you have your household food. Then you go to the school system, you get exposed to some American pizza and fries. And then you get like, you know, what is like the first Taco Bell we had was like, let's be honest, like for me it was Taco Bell first. But then slowly you start discovering Mexican food, and we saw, you know, kind of the similarities with the South Asian style of cooking, and especially the love for tamarind. And then we went on into making that, and then same thing with soul food. Now there's halal soul food in Detroit. I never had that growing up. But it's like that combination and how, and then you learn about like the history of fried chicken. All that combines into like making people aware of their food and surroundings. Same thing with the high tea concepts, like bringing people together through food. And it has so much value that people don't do. We just eat, we just order, but we don't know there's like a huge history how it was invented.
You know what, that's why, I don't know if I can say this now, but that's why I started my show, because I wanted to get the story behind, it's called Behind the Bite with Sean Wilder. And it's literally the story behind the people who makes the bite. You know, why are you making this dish? What does it mean to you? You know, how does your culture play into this? And I think that's so important that we learn other people's culture, not just learn about them, but actually like immerse ourselves into these cultures. And food is just one of the best ways to do it.
Yeah, I agree. It's so, like, I mean, food is just like a commonality that we can all agree upon that we love. And like, I think there are different, you know, taste buds, like kind of how you said, like, so like, you know, certain people like spicy food, certain people don't, and stuff like that. You know, some people might like Indian food as their favorite type of food versus somebody might like Mexican food. But I do think it brings us together, like when you eat around a table and you're able to talk with whoever else is at your table. That's a fun way.
Yeah, whoever is at your table, you get the dialogue going and you see people more together. It's always like a combination of bringing people. I think one aspect that I learned is like appreciation of how cooking goes, all into cooking, and how like everyone has a story or a family favorite when it comes to cooking. Speaking of which, you know, you said your parents had a big focus on corporate America and going into them, and your influencer picked up. How did they feel about that?
It was an interesting transition. Actually, funny story, my dad just got a TikTok to find out how many TikTok people I have, essentially like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
But yeah, so that was really funny because I think when it first started, they kind of just were like, oh, it's a hobby, and that, even to this day I still tell myself it's a hobby because like obviously I still work my 9 to 5. But at the end of the day, it's like, it was really funny because when I first started, they didn't like really get it, and it wasn't until like other people in their communities, like my dad's friends or my mom's friends who may have like kids that are my age, started showing my parents their videos, or my videos, not their videos. But it was really funny because they'd be like, oh, so and so just showed me your like food video and it did like really well, and I was like, yeah, that's kind of how it is. And I think the other thing is like I always have to remember that my parents are also living their life too, like, you know, like when you're a kid, you look at your parents and you're like, okay, they've seen the world and stuff like that. But this is like, sometimes I get to take my parents to like a nice dinner or a nice restaurant, and it'll be like their first time actually ever being like at a restaurant like that in several years or something like that. So it's like, they're also living life too when I get to do my stuff.
Yeah, it's because when I feel like our parents, I was an immigrant here. If I was young, I adapted to the culture, but like your parents they didn't grow up in Metro Detroit, so they don't know all the nice restaurants. They don't know like the story behind all this is like a local Detroit landmark. So that's the kind of like when they go to get like really. I took them to El Salvador, it's like the Mexican restaurant. It was really nice for them to like. My dad is very specific for his own food, but my mom loves eating different food. So I took my mom there, and she really liked it. We go in different exploration, but then I realized like when they go back home to Pakistan, they know all the spots where they grew up, ate. That was not the story here. It was like, oh, find out where the halal food is. Find out where this is. Like they had to navigate through this. This is the 90s for our like immigrant parents. It's a lot rougher than we sometimes see it.
Yeah, I agree. And I think there was like, at least I don't know how it was for both of you guys growing up, but like my parents were very focused on like making sure there was food on the table and trying to teach us about our culture. But I think like as you sit and you're interacting with other people, like I grew up in a very, I would say like a predominantly white area. It's like kind of where I was like the only Mexican, and I remember being like, there was only one other Mexican girl, her name was Victoria, and I remember just being like, so do you speak Spanish? And she'd be like, yeah, and I'd be like, okay, cool. But
do you?
I don't really. Okay, I say that I don't, but honestly, if people were talking in front of me, I would understand what they're saying. It's just like regurgitating what to say back to them.
Because you have to think through.
Yeah, and a lot of like growing up with like my dad's side of the family, like they would speak in Spanish between themselves, but then when they would speak to me, they would speak to me in English. I think it was just like, because it was easier to get the message across. And also when you come from a 2-parent household, it's like hard because it's like there's 3 languages in there. So like my mom speaks Punjabi, and then my dad speaks Spanish, but then they like in order for all three of us to understand what everybody's saying, we all have to speak in English.
Yeah.
Because I understand English. So it's only a downfall. I wish I would have like learned more Spanish, but it's okay. I'm learning as we go.
Yes.
So
nice. I'm so glad that, you know, I didn't know these facts about you, and we get to learn that, and that's the beauty of like having people for high tea is like kind of embracing the chai culture, the Punjabi in you. I'm Punjabi from like my background from Pakistan. It's in Punjab always like loves like figuring people out.
Yeah.
And I think with you, it's so different. Like I know you through food blogging.
Yeah.
We go way back years, and even if you don't see each other, when you see each other, it's always like a union. It's like I've known you forever, and that's like the beauty. Here, help yourself, guys. You want to try more biscuits?
Yes, actually, I'm going to try. I think I'm going to try the carrot.
Oh, okay. First time trying the carrot halwa. Let's see. You want to try some fries? Let me get you a fork, or if you have a fork. Oh, you already had the fries.
I'm good. Yeah.
The samosa.
I'm gonna try this up here.
Yeah.
This little cake. What is this?
It's a chocolate cake, Paradise
okay.
Special chocolate cake, and especially for my high tea guests.
All right. So scared. Don't be scared. It's not.
It's carrots.
It can't be that.
I like.
Okay. Ready?
Okay. Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers. Okay. It's not as bad as I thought. It's subtle. Oh wow. That's actually not bad.
What's in it? Outside of carrots. Okay. So we had some high chai time with Foodiesnapper here. It was really good. One of my favorite items is these little chicken lollipops, and I like to dip it in the mint. And yeah, that was really good. And I also think this carrot was pretty good too.
Gajar ka halwa.
Yeah. I was a little scared to eat it, but it was good.
So today we brought in two various people from different backgrounds, from flight attendant to baker to food blogging, a marketer and a blogger, influencer, all with the chai with Foodiesnapper. We look forward to seeing you next time for more guests.